I'm Alex Harris, and I want to shout out to the Urban Influencer, the largest platform for breaking independent artists.
Most definitely, man. Shout out to Urban Influencer, the #1 platform for breaking independent artists. And it's co-signed by LA the GOAT, LA Nate, Lil Nate, whatever you want to call me. Mumu, shout out Urban. Say, shout out Urban. Say it, baby. You don't want to do it? You can't get on the camera and be shy, baby. You're a superstar already. She want to be shy, but
I get it. I get it.
Say Urban Influencer. Yeah, that's good, baby.
That's good. Great. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Urban Influencer Radio. I'm your girl, Missy, the party doll, and I have the pleasure today to interview a guy who is phenomenal. His name is Alex Harris. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Well, you want to know what? As I was reading your bio and checking out some of your previous interviews, I was like, okay, I want to take the layers out. I want to kind of cut through the onion and just kind of unfold who Alex Harris is. So we know you're from Manchester, Georgia. I'm going to ask, I'm in Georgia and I don't even know where Manchester is.
Well, Manchester is near Warm Springs. Many people may be familiar with FDR, President Franklin D. Roosevelt. He had the little White House. He had polio, and so we are famous for our as a neighboring city to Warm Springs. And the Warm Springs, of course, you may already know, and many Georgians may know, that was discovered by the Creek natives. Some people refer to them as the Creek Indians, but they discovered the Warm Springs, which was a healing in it, and they built the whole rehabilitation center around that. And President Franklin D. Roosevelt would come down, and I'm told that the train would go about 55 miles per hour. Can you imagine? That's coming all the way from DC on the train at 55 miles per hour. So it took me a little while, and people in every little small town like Warm Springs wait, and they know that the train is coming. So that's our claim to fame as a city, a neighboring city to Manchester. But it was only 2,500 people, in our city when we were growing up, and then it grew to we had a lot of manufacturing plants there, like Goodies. They do the hair rollers and all that. Those manufacturing companies that were here. They were there for a long time, but later, and so the population grew a little bit, and then now it's back down to about 2,500 or 1,500 when I check. So, that's
now
any major theater.
Okay, so now is it up North Georgia, Northern Georgia,
southeast of Atlanta?
Okay, so I'm trying to pinpoint.
We are only about, from the Alabama state line, we are about an hour and.
So you're closer to Columbus.
Yes, 30 minutes.
Okay. See, I gotta pinpoint it like that because it's like, all right, because I was like, okay, where is it? I'm trying. So Manchester.
My dad actually grew up in Columbus, Georgia, and he was born in Manchester, and after his dad passed away when he was 3 years old, his mother, our grandmother, they moved to Columbus, Georgia, and so he basically grew up and graduated from high school and all of that. So we were in Columbus a lot, and then when we were younger, we would sing. My brothers and sisters and I would sing in Columbus almost every weekend.
Okay. See, now I can kind of feel. I'm like, okay, so he around Columbus. So Macon, Georgia, in the house.
Macon.
we're
I
around
had
the big city of Macomb. So
I
when
had
I listen to your music, I also, um, think about who you sound like. Definitely deep soul, but more so like Sam Cooke. Of course, I know people have said Al Green.
yes,
Okay,
yeah.
so definitely those. So I want you to tell everyone your background. And then we're going to get into some stuff like stuff people don't know about. Stuff,
Uh,
because we want
what
to be nosy. I want to get in your business.
That's perfectly fine. What of my background, my growing up
Music
background? I mean,
background, how did you get into being the phenomenal singer that you are right now?
well, thank you. Well, I grew up in something that I always like to tell when I have a chance, such as tonight. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in Manchester, as you said, which is a small town, and my parents are educators, but my dad is also a pastor of a small congregation of a gospel church, Pentecostal church.
Okay.
And we went to church 3 nights a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and also on Saturdays. So we um, we grew up. Music was a part of our lives. I'm one of 8 children, 5 boys, 3 girls, and
Mm-hmm.
all of us play an instrument or sing. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so I when I was younger, little kid, I think it was about, well, two things. One, I built my own drum set out of buckets from my neighbor's
Mm-hmm.
and the pine tree branches with the drumsticks and the tin pan for the pie crust that my mother had done when she was done cooking. In the country, they would save the tin pans and put them away and make some more. Pies. It was sweet potato pies or pecan pies. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
I would get them and make them my symbols. And that when I was like 6, 7 years old. And then my parents purchased a drum set for me, and that's when we decided. My brother a guitar, and my oldest brother because I'm in the middle, a keyboard. And so we decided
Mm-hmm.
to start a group, and the other brothers, and then later the sisters joined, and we had a group called A Boys and Girls, with our sisters singing, and well, everybody was singing. Everyone had a microphone, and we rehearse every morning before we go to school, and sometimes after school as well. We have an event coming up. We love music, and everything was just amazing. We played hard too. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
most stuff in the backyard because it was a developing community at the time. It was just a few houses at that time in the community, so there's a lot of woody area, pine trees, and we just build stuff out in the back and build our own stages and play church when mimic what they were doing in my dad's church, and that's the secret ingredient, if you will, behind my music. And I tell people, when you talk about soul music, it has a lot
Mm-hmm.
of grit in it, and it has a lot of elements that come from the upbringing. When you listen to some of our legends who are here and are gone on, there's a lot in that. People can listen to it, love it, mimic it, or try and duplicate it, but it's
Mm-hmm.
different when it comes from a different experience, because soul music or the blues or jazz or gospel and many other genres and hip hop as well is born out of an experience. And while I appreciate others' appreciation of this
Mm-hmm.
music, I think it's a difference when you have actually lived that experience and seen a lot in that South, because that's where it comes from. It comes from
Mm-hmm.
the, the Black experience, which comes from gospel and the blues and jazz and all of that,
Right.
which is passed down in the struggles, right? And the
It
challenges
is.
we have. So much of personal. People say, "Oh, you're young." That was back in the 50s and 60s. But our struggles, I think, as a people, as African Americans, and even that we saw as recent as last year, the purpose, the reason why we had the whole marches, but also our
Right.
parents and their experiences and the challenges and the things that they had to do to ensure that we have a better life and try to do better every generation, right?
Right.
So and just hear the stories too. So that's a lot of the ingredients.
Hmm. So were you able to listen to secular music when you were coming up?
No, and then we referenced it as secular music, but as I grew up and I started to understand, and we were only allowed to listen to the gospel genre, and
Hmm.
as I think we must have been about, and I say we, my siblings and I, um, we started to listen to other genres when we were teens, but we never really looked at, like a James Brown,
Right.
Theo, or Michael Jackson. I think the first Michael Jackson, first, we knew about Michael Jackson. We knew about the Jackson Five. When we were younger, people used to call us "you all like the Jackson Five." And the first time we learned about them from the movie that they came out with, and we were really
Hmm.
and then the American Dream, I think it was titled the movie, and then later when we saw the We Are the World, with they did with all these artists, but we didn't really know. We were super young, so we didn't really know everything. We just heard our parents talk about them. But then as we got older, people were like, "Oh, you guys like the Jackson Five," so obviously we were a little bit more educated on
Hmm.
music genres. But we were not able to really do that until we got to college, because a lot of us studied music and classical, and we learned.
Okay.
And
And
then
I
we
was gonna, yeah, I was gonna ask about that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, no, no. So as we got older, all of my brothers and I, we started to study music, and my younger sister as well. So we started to learn about other genres and sing it more, and really open us up. And then I stopped referring to music that's not gospel or secular, because I mean God is not in it. I realized that God is in everything that is good. And
Hmm.
God is good. So is an expansion or expanded consciousness of saying awareness, to say that one genre doesn't represent, God didn't create the genres of music. We
Right.
open them.
Yeah. Right. Right.
So as I start to understand that it's great to sing about love and sing about relationships and expand in other topics. I wrote a song about humanity in response to the George Floyd killing and how it impacted the world, and talk about the coming together
Right.
and
Hmm.
celebrate our humanness. So now it's just about the different representations of what I believe God through our human existence can do, if we're willing to yield our gifts and talents that we've been entrusted with to do that. And so my platform is not limited to one idea, or church, or four walls, or any stage or anywhere. It's like it can be virtually now, right?
Right. It can be. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's about just singing great music and inspiring people to love and be loved and receive love and have a great time living.
Okay. So, your sisters, your sibling, do they help you or work with you on your projects?
Yeah, so only really two of us are, I mean, I'm sorry, not two, two of my brothers other than myself, so it's three of us that really are entrenched into the music entertainment industry on the production side, right?
Okay.
One is a producer, Grammy Award winning producer, actually, multi-nominated, and his work with her and a whole bunch of folks, Kalani, another. They work with artists like Brandy and you name it, K Michelle, and the list goes on. That's Swag Arcelius, so they call him David Swag Arcelius. He's a producer.
Hmm.
My other brother, who's in the entertainment, is Alonzo. He goes by Zoe. He's a musical director. He's a arranger for her. He's her music director. But those two brothers work with me, and you hear their work on all of my project, on my music, on the Frequency EP, on the Make It Better. So we still work together. But another brother who's an attorney who also works for me on the legal side, and sometimes we get together locally and we do stuff, but not on the stage, on the main stage. Um, and our oldest brother, while we still get together, we were getting together every year before the pandemic, and we
Mm-hmm.
did something for my dad's event at his church back home, the gospel, the brothers and sisters actually, and we hope to resume that. Once we get past all of this that's happening now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we've been doing that every year for a long time. And even though we do everything, my oldest brother is an author, speaker, preacher. He's president of the Jake's Divinity School. And then our sisters, they are doing other stuff from professors to working in government, owning their own, got their own consulting and business for corporate. And the youngest sister is into theater. So all of us are doing our thing. And I started my foundation, the Arts Conservatory for Teens, because of our own experiences of how all the arts impact our lives. And
Mm-hmm.
all of that is behind the music that people hear. So it's a lot. So that contributes to the vibrations of what we feel when we hear the music.
Okay, wow. Because Chick was just going to ask, okay, so how did you go from Manchester to Harvard? And but again, it shows the connection with you and music, because I don't think you were sharing that your brothers work with her.
Yeah, yeah.
See, that's why I'm good at what I do. I be getting into people's business. That's why I'm good.
They work
So,
with they got her. They were part of the. They still with work with her, but they were part of the development of her sound.
hmm
And in fact, I was there before her became her, and we actually were on the same holiday recording. She's not titled. Her name is not her on that. It's Gabby. Only Gabby
hmm
on there, and it was a Christmas, and we did that with Brandy, and who else was on there? Tyrese was on there. A list of Alicia Keys was on there actually.
hmm
So we did, and I did the song "Please Come Home" for Christmas. It's the third track on the Christmas record. You can Google it. Christmas album.
hmm
Please Come Home.
All right, listen at you
Holiday
Google it.
time. Had
but
a holiday
but
time.
but one of the things that's really interesting is that people will probably think you just popped up on the scene.
Well, I think that's a good point you bring out. I
hmm
always say that Starbucks didn't happen overnight,
No, it did
but now
not.
people say, "Oh, there's a Starbucks everywhere." Like, especially when it started to be everywhere, it
Right.
was almost like, where in the world? Even Walmart, for example, people don't. I think what I at my foundation and I mentor and I'm often asked to speak, and people, they say, they want to do, be working in any industry. CEOs of corporations, they just don't become
hmm
that overnight. Beyonce didn't become Beyonce overnight. People don't know a lot about the stories, about the many auditions that they did, or NSYNC and the auditions back when they were at the top of their game and doing their thing. The Everyone has been doing her. I was there when she was in the studio, and
When
you
she
know,
was she.
yeah, exactly. And and trying to figure out her sound and working together. And now every time I see her come on television, I was like, wow. And the thing about my journey, my brothers and I, we were very successful, and we had a single that did really well on the charts, and we toured all over the country, actually the world, doing this called "Don't Walk Away."
hmm
And then that was our thing, and A7 is the name of the brothers. And then I started to do the foundation. My other brothers started to produce artists like her, and so on and so forth, and work with her. And what another, as I aforementioned, in law, and starting his own practice. And mine was in the arts, and then start to venture out and pursue the solo. So it's been it's new, but it's
Right.
not like I just started. So when people see me perform, they're like, "Wow, you've been performing." So I've been performing since I was 6 years old. So
Right.
you know, in front of churches and festivals, and then now God has opened so many doors. So
hmm
been on just about every major television a lot of people still do kind of recognize when they see, but and I'm just expecting and looking for greater things, and I'm so humbled and so grateful that that you are interested in my Frequency
Well,
EP.
hey. So, I got a couple of questions. Now your foundation act, which you act, which is the foundation of art conservatory
Hmm.
for teens. Now,
Right.
with that particular project, was it because of your experience growing up that you decided to do
Right.
this? Okay.
Right. So it was a limited experience for us, and then we started when my brothers and I were traveling together. I was a lead singer, and I would do a lot of speaking as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the things I had this vision of having this program where it initially started to come as a summer,
Mm-hmm.
was students could come every summer and learn from professionals. We had that experience, and so many people poured into us and were so kind to us. Folks like Michael Mathis, who's a well accomplished multi Grammy award winning, stellar, all that musician. He and Chris Willis, who, his work from working with a lot of major artists from Celine Dion,
Mm-hmm.
so on and so forth, David Guetta, the in his own stuff as well. And they, people like them, and even on the gospel side with folks like Pastor Caesar and Dr. Bobby Jones, all these people were so kind to us and saw the potential, even when
Right.
we didn't have everything. So I was like, so one day I was in North Carolina, and I remember sitting outside the convention center. We had a event to perform, and I had this idea, and then later, and it never left me. And when I went to graduate school, I met this lady by the name of Dr. Linda Crane, and she was
Mm-hmm.
actually a second doctor. She had practiced psychology for a long time. She's an older lady, and she saw me and we were in the same classes, and because she was going back to get her other degree.
Mm-hmm.
I started to tell her because I was ambassador to share people my vision, my dreams, etc. And she said, "When you're ready to start, you let me know." So, because I've done something similar and out in California, blah blah blah. So I took her on her word. I remember nearing my last semester there. I said, "Remember?" And we met and had lunch and I talked. And so anyway, fast forward, that started to develop into my thing of saying there is a need that was met with us, and if I can give along the way, even though I'm not in full fulfillment of where I want to be, um,
Right.
any aspect of my life, as whether it's spiritually, professionally, but as I am on this journey, if I can give along the way, a lot of people wait to they retire and they want to do something,
Right.
or they just kind of like say, oh, I got to find a tax write off and do something, and all of that is great as well. However, I felt very compelled to utilize all of my gifts and talents and figure out a way in the interim of my doing the solo work to say, how can I give back? So I started first just consulting organization that had youth and
Mm-hmm.
as an artist in residence and consultant around program development, which some of that I had learned through my academic training on how to do that. And so I was able to, through that space, meet great people, build great relationships, and then really, so now we serve over 2,600 young folks with a focus of education
Wow. That's
future
good. That's awesome.
each year, and we are poised to scale. The other part of my vision is that artists, my colleagues, and hope eventually more will become friends and build relationships with them. That they would say that, hey, Alex, I want this in my name. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Beyonce, Lady
Right.
Gaga, her may have a arts conservatory in their name, and they don't have to start from the ground from scratch. I mean, they can always add their ideas to, but the model has been created. Is nothing like it in the country. Actually, I don't know about the world, but I know from my research it has not been done what we've done from a holistic perspective. It's not just about the arts; it's about the whole development of
Mm-hmm.
and from 11 to 18, and also working with pre-professionals 19 and to 20 to 21, 22, to help them on the way. So we've been able to, my team and I have been able to really make transformation. I'm talking about kids coming to us either in gangs, no longer in gangs, kids coming to us who's nearing drop out of school, nearing meaning that they not even going to class anymore, to start to go back to class and graduating on time. Kids who have a 1.8 or 7 or whatever, lower than 2.0, and working and getting 3.0. So that kind of transformation and seeing that kind of change is absolutely far beyond I could ever imagine when we started. But it started with just from my upbringing to say, how can I, my
Mm-hmm.
parents were givers. I mean, they helped more than just us. They helped a lot of young people in the community. Both parents are educators, mother early childhood, dads taught high school and also college later. And so that's also in my, I guess you could say, part of my DNA in some way or another.
Mm-hmm.
So just to give back, but also just kind of responding to that based on my personal experience from, from a family, as well as my experience in being out and traveling throughout the country at the time. And so I'm so grateful that we have been able to accomplish what we are accomplishing to date, and making a difference in our community.
Okay. So if people were to ask, what category do you want to put your music in, where would you put it?
Uh, you know, I say that it's soul. I know soul is kind of like not necessarily a category. They say soul, slash
Mm-hmm.
R&B. I think that's what it is because I think historically, what I do is what one would call quote unquote real soul music. I think it
Mm-hmm.
it really comes from an experience, and I think we can use whatever the sounds are today, that we try to bring it forward and sonically, and some of the topics are how we talk about different subject matters. I think that's what brings it and keeps it moving forward as culture evolves.
Right.
uh, but yeah, soul R&B is definitely not jazz. It's not the gospel genre. I like, people have all kinds of ideas and say,
Mm-hmm.
no, this is gospel, whatever. And I think we can create whatever you want to create, or this is trap soul, what is it, trap R&B, trap hip hop. It, I just
Rap
say,
R&B.
yeah. I mean, have you heard? Well, I'm sure you have. It's just they have different spin on it. The guy was telling me about he's called it jazz hop. I had never heard of
I've
anything.
heard of trip hop. I still can't get into the trip hop, but yeah.
Well, my point for saying all of that was that genres are they're quickly evolving.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's our creative space where we get a chance to label and then come up with different names and feel great about it. But at the end of the day, it's just great music.
Right.
Excuse me. It's just,
So let's see. One of my other questions is, where do you want people to put you, and what's your creative process?
oh, that's a great question. My creative process, I'm going to answer this with a discussion I was just having this recently, and a friend of mine and a guy that I'm working with. He says this, and I'm going to quote him.
Mm-hmm.
Shannon Sanders. He says he stays in the zone, and
Okay.
and I I think that my creative process is I'm always open. It's not like, oh, I got to get creative or I got to do. I can be talking right now and just while in the middle of our having a conversation, you could say something and it just triggers
Mm-hmm.
a whole concept for a song. Or I could be walking down the street and see something, or sometime I've awakened out of sleep in the middle of the night because I was hearing music, and I go in the bathroom and I record it on my phone, just the concepts. And so it's almost like I stay in the zone. I sleep in the zone. I walk in the zone. I talk.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always hearing. And that's my process. And once I hear it, I record it. Once I record it, I go back to it. Or at certain points, I remember. I don't have to try and remember. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
that music and songs tells you when it's time to be born and how it should be delivered, or concepts or titles. So one guy
Mm-hmm.
gave me a
So
lot of.
who is it that you would like to work with?
That's another great question. I don't get asked that question that often. I would like to work. I would like to work with a lot of people. That's the reason I'm kind of pausing. But if I have to
Mm-hmm.
choose a handful immediately right now, I think I would love to work with her on, in product on production together.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to work with Beyonce. As a song she did, I was like, oh man, I wish I could have recorded that song with her. And I can't even remember the song right now because it's been a couple of records ago. I would love to do a song with one of my idols. I don't even know if he would record it. That's Al Green. I think that would be interesting
Mm-hmm.
to do something with Al Green. Um, yeah, I can go on, so I'll just stop
And
there.
when you say that, would it even be feasible if they were doing a tribute for you to be one of the casting members of that tribute?
Of Al Green?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, his ex-wife told me that I was the first one. We were in North Carolina, and my cousin was
Mm-hmm.
on stage. We just finished singing. I was singing. We were singing actually "Don't Walk Away" that night. I wasn't even singing one of his songs, which I would do often. But she said, "You are the first person I've met that had my ex-husband chops, Al Green." I said, "Really?" She said, "Yeah." Mike looked at me and said, "That's a huge compliment." But
Mm-hmm.
he, we, and I don't know what it was. My mother and her youngest sister love Al Green, and I had a chance to be on the same show with him in Nashville once. He, he's a very unique artist. Like you
Mm-hmm.
heard anybody like him before, and even though his influence was Sam Cooke, believe it or not,
Who was
and
from right up the street.
right, and just his whole process and his approach to the music, and we share similar backgrounds, um, you know out of the church,
Mm-hmm.
and so I think there was just a natural connection, and I don't know why we just gravitated to his he was magical,
Mm-hmm.
and of course the Winans were great influence.
See, I see you doing the album cover, the one with the shirt open. I see you doing it.
Of course, let's not forget about that was a big record. That's the
I
only
see you
picture
doing
they
the
got
album
of him.
cover. I
They
see you
use that
pausing.
picture for
See,
everybody. I mean, for
see.
all of the covers. It's so funny. Yeah, I was looking at Apple Music, and it seems like you know that's the only cover they got on him. Pretty much, he just did a recent one. He just did a new release that was really cool. But he's amazing. He's still his
Mhm.
voice just recorded recently. He still is great.
So having this conversation, what I'm thinking, just like for example, Aretha Franklin went to Jennifer Hudson and said, when you will be the person cast to do my life story. Conversation with Al Green, and he says, you will be the person, or his wife, you will be the person to do his life story.
That would be great. That would be amazing. I think
Hmm.
we did a lot of cool things, but I think to tell his story, he he has a very interesting story too. I mean, he told a little bit on a profile on the Gospel according to Al Green, which we watched over and over live in
Hmm.
Mexico.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, it's fascinating. But he's an amazing entertainer. No one has, you know, in my opinion, and there's been so many artists, but Sam Cooke, Al Green, James Brown, Otis, like there's Ray Charles. I mean, they're
And
kind of
all
like
from
people.
Georgia, pretty much, huh?
Yeah,
All of
yeah,
them,
but
pretty
Al
much.
Green, yeah, all in
Yeah,
all,
pretty much
he's
all from Georgia.
part of Arkansas. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. So another question I would like to ask you is, what's your take on love?
What do you mean by that?
Just what's your take on love?
Take on love. I think love is a beautiful thing, and I
Mm-hmm.
think that one has to be um, vulnerable in order to experience love in its purest form.
Mm-hmm.
And often, when I observe how one or people in general sometimes talk or
Mm-hmm.
express love, it's done on what the surface, and I think that's great. But I think what is often missing in uh, the love experience that our humanist desires is really that which goes beyond the surface into a place that is extremely vulnerable, a
Mm-hmm.
place that awakens a part of us that brings a level of joy that I don't think adjectives really can describe,
Mm-hmm.
because it's more about energetic, vibrative type of thing. You know, when we talk about energy, it's almost like you can feel it, you can see it even with your eyes closed, right?
Mm-hmm.
You feel it when it's at a distance, and even when words are not uttered, it's that thing. It's like when they say the X factor, right? Or
Right.
the X factor, and um, that's how I think that love is should be celebrated, and I hope to usher that in through my music that I express and talk about love and relationships, like the single "Falling for You."
There you go. Let's see. Well, and the reason I asked that question is because when you listen to the passion in your music, that's why I said, what is your take on love?
Well, thank you. Yeah, you know, it's interesting you say that because I've always loved love,
Mm-hmm.
um, and and as I reflect on these are great questions because I don't think anyone asked me that question either.
That's why I'm
But
good. That's why
yeah, that's
I'm
good.
good.
Yeah, I thought I'd tell you that you probably like it.
Thank you.
Um, you know, when I think about love and I sing about it, you know, I've always wanted to be one that sings about a subject matter that I believe in, that I celebrate. Um, our family had a lot of love and
Mm-hmm.
has a lot of love, uh, and I love people regardless of who they are, where they're
Mm-hmm.
from. It doesn't matter what their persuasion or belief systems are. I love folks for who they are and where they are. And I challenge myself to do that at the highest level and the purest level. It's not about agreeing on with someone on everything, and people, you know, get that confused. And It's really about the value that we have for one's humanness and the respect for that,
Mm-hmm.
and that carries over into everything, even when it comes to relationships. You know, romantic relationships as well as just friendships and other
Mm-hmm.
other kind of relationships. And so I think music has that. It's like water; it takes form wherever, you know, and you know it can penetrate different walls, you know, and I think that. When I heard someone tell me once, more than one time, it's like, "Oh my God, your music and the way you know deliver just make me want to love again." Or a lady told me once after a show how she and her husband. Um, I don't know why she tell me their personal business, but I guess she wanted to tell me. Well, she was very
Right.
appreciative, but she was like, you know, she and her husband was, you know, having some challenges. She said, "But oh my God, just the show tonight just really transformed us." And I was like, "Wow, wow." And coming from a background where it was just all like one idea of expression of God's love through gospel genre,
Right.
this was even a more enlightened moment for me to see that, for me to see and hear, the power, the impact on what the gift that
Mm-hmm.
God has entrusted me with, on if I try to control or use this gift, then I'm limited. But if I relinquish myself from trying to hold on to and control the gift and let the gift use me as opposed to me using the gift, then the gift can take me places and can do things that I could never imagine that it can.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I think, is the magic, if you will, if I can use a word, of the gift that you have embraced and entrusted with, that can do, I mean, amazing things. It can heal, it can inspire, make you feel good, and make you feel like loving, and make you feel, the joy and the peace and so on and so forth. So that's amazing. So the passion, I think, it comes from that, and I'm able to exude that through everything that I do. So thank
Mm-hmm.
you for asking
And
that
see,
question.
that was my other question is about what do you want people to say about your music? Because I honestly feel that a lot of it is all about the music, just as you're saying how music makes you feel. It's all about the music.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I want people to feel. I want people to feel good. I want people to feel
Mm-hmm.
inspired. I want people to feel, um, you know, uh, more so, I want them to feel inspired to do something good, right? To do something, to be kind. When they leave or turn off the radio or the song goes off, I want them to just, I don't care if they're having a bad day, if they're having, when I was younger, and I don't want to digress too much, I was about 12, I think it was 12 years old. And this lady come backstage, and my family and I, had been on television, and she came that night, and she said she learned that we were coming, and she had
Mm-hmm.
seen it on television, and she said, I lost my son, and somebody else in her family had passed away. And she said that, but when I saw you like doing your thing and running across the stage, she said, I was like wanted to give up and wanted to die, but I wanted to live. And I said, whoa. And so that changed my life. I start to realize then that this gift that I had was extremely, extremely powerful. It's kind of like you're giving someone something that's magical. You say, be careful how you use it, because this is extremely powerful.
Mm-hmm.
So that changed my life, more than I could ever. And I never forgot that. I could see exactly how she was, her excitement and how she explained the story. I never forgot that. And so I want people to feel whatever makes whatever is a transformative experience in a way that it feels like magic, and it feels like, whoa, what was that? You know,
Mm-hmm.
oh my God, I want to feel that again. And not only feel it, but it inspires them and it never leaves them. It's this lingering, like the residue of the dew, the rain or the mist or whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
it's with them. It's kind of, once you enter and experience it, it never goes away. It just stays there, and it's like it constantly inspires you to do something, because there was a spirit and the energy, and all of this that I have experienced, I was able to release through the vibrations of the sounds and my expression. That when you go out and into your whatever you do on the day, you get up the next day, whatever, it does what it needs to do at the moment that it needs to be done. If it's romantic relationship, it's a family relationship, if it's just
Mm-hmm.
making you want to, do something good for somebody to give back, whatever it needs to do. So I wanted to make you feel good.
Okay. So, favorite song
My own or somebody else?
or whatever, your
Oh,
favorite song.
all right. Oh, wow. I I got that's a really hard question, because I got songs.
Okay, so then I'll say this. What's the top three songs in your playlist? That's easier.
All right. Um, I'll tell you my favorite go-to songs. Can I do
Okay.
that a little bit better? All right. So my favorite go-to songs, which are plenty, but these are the ones that come to mind. I love "Love and Happiness."
Okay.
There's
Al
no other
Green.
song like that.
Uh-huh.
Al Green, of course. Um, I love Heart Place by her. I've been actually playing on guitar.
Hmm.
Um, who else? I love Perfect by Ed Sheeran.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a nice vibe to that record. That's the top three, but you got me naming like a lot of songs. Like
No,
I
I mean you did your top three, and that's the hardest question for people. They always have a hard time
It's
doing that.
really, let me just say this. It really just depends on the day. Because
Hmm.
some day I may have a Motown day, and I'm from Georgia. Someday I may have a country day. A lot of people don't know that, but
So,
country music have great stories.
so I was gonna ask, do you see yourself doing country?
I write country music, of course. I can do.
Uh-huh. See, I didn't know that.
Oh,
I did not
so
know you wrote
all
country
the great
music.
soul singers, Ray Charles, Al Green, all them done. It's funny how time slip away. Willie Nelson, Al Green. Um,
Hmm.
Ray Charles did a whole country record. I don't know about James Brown. I know Otis would have if he, had not been killed in the plane
Hmm.
crash because he was, he
Right.
was in that space. But yeah, Aretha Franklin. I love Aretha Franklin. I was listening to her. I had a chance to meet her. It's amazing. And you know, I think country music, when you think about the history of country music, is and its chord progressions and expression is really much like the blues, right? The country and western and the blues, and the storytelling that happens, and with those songs is very closely related. And gospel and all that comes from that, and all that comes from Field Holla and so on and so forth. And a lot of people don't know that a lot of country and western really was born out of the blues, which started, was an evolution from field holla to Negro spirituals and stuff.
Hmm.
Just adapted a lot more after the Civil War, and a lot of folks in the country western and the fiddlers and folks up in the mountain and stuff. But so yeah, in Georgia we've got a lot of country music stations with a lot of great stuff. I listen
And
to
I
country
listen.
music
I
a lot.
listen to country music sometimes. I
I
listen,
listen,
especially when
yeah,
I'm driving. When I
yeah,
do a lot of driving. So when I'm doing driving towards Columbus, I listen to country music.
yeah, country music, Georgia. Yeah, got a lot of
Uh-huh.
great stations and a lot of good singers. So yeah, I would love to do something with some of the country artists that's out there. I think it'd be a great thing.
Okay. So tell us about your project.
The up and coming or the new or
Yes,
the
the up and coming project.
up and coming. Well, the up and coming, I think people can expect a part two of what's out there. Just only another level. I I always believe in challenging myself to bring out the best every time, and I think I'm super excited. I'm having a chance to work. I referenced earlier Shannon Sanders. You know his work
Mm-hmm.
with a lot of people, but specifically NDRE, the Fifth Jubilee Singers, and the multi Grammy winner.
Okay.
Also, of course, my both of my brothers, David Swagger C is multi Grammy. I talked about him earlier, and also Zoe Alonzo and Richard Gardner. He's a guy who's just been around for a while and has a lot of great ideas and really bring a lot of energy. The team and
Mm-hmm.
just working with some great folk, working with cool writers in Nashville as well,
Okay.
some old timers as well as some new timers, and we bring in the best. We bring in the best of the best, I believe, um, to really celebrate soul music. I like to say that way, in a way that I think right now is currently not being celebrated. And that's the beauty when an artist can find a little space, I believe, to really be, uh, the artist that the artist is, right?
Right.
Um, and it's not about, oh, that artist is doing some cool. Let me go try and do that. Oh, let me. I think it's authenticity, and to be authentic is very important for me.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be. I want it to come through who I am, and in a way that of course is embraced by the platforms that we can get it to the masses but still being very authentic.
Okay. And my last question is, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Where do I see myself in 5 years? I see myself having another interview with you about
Yeah.
about the stadium we're gonna fill.
Hey, I want the stadium. I want the stadium.
Yeah, I have an interview with you about the stadium. We're selling out to our stadium tours. That's what we're gonna
Mhm.
do in 5 years.
And I
So
got my backstage pass.
today, yes, it's August 19th. It's in the time 10:19. So yeah,
Hmm. Okay. All
just
right. Yeah, you did it so well. And of course, give everybody your social media information so they can hit you up. And we definitely want to, we want first dibs on that new music.
I want you to do that. It's going to be amazing. You should be hearing about the single, and we're going to be releasing that information here shortly. You can follow me on Instagram at Alex Harris Official. That's Alex Harris Official on Instagram. On TikTok, it's Alex Harris Official. And also on my website, you can go there. We're going to be posting a lot of things there, and also our upcoming dates.
Hmm.
Also, store that we're releasing with a lot of our merch and stuff. So please connect with us. And if you don't remember all of that, just remember Alex Harris Official on IG and TikTok, and let's be in touch and just follow along or come along on the journey. It's gonna be this
Yeah.
is.
And I want to tell people you're so approachable.
Thank you so much.
You're
Thank you.
so approachable, very humble. So thank you for taking the time out to do the interview. And you've just been so amazing. So I just want to say that.
Appreciate it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for locking in with us to the Urban Influencer Radio. I'm your girl, Missy the Party Doll, and it has definitely been a pleasure to get into Alex Harris's business. But make sure you follow your girl, Missy the Party Doll, on Facebook, Missy E. Johnson, Twitter, Missy E. Party Doll, and on Instagram, Missy Party Doll. Make sure you click like, share, comment on the Urban Influencer Radio, and subscribe. Thank you. It's been a beautiful day. Take care of yourself, and mwah.
Lifetime lover seemed like a long time until I met you, girl. You changed my mind. You take me to heaven every time. More happiness than money can buy. The world keeps spinning around. Oh, yeah. You're the good I've been waiting for, and I won't let go. Yeah, yeah. Every day I keep falling for you, and loving everything about you. Every day got me feeling brand new. Yeah, crazy about the things you do. Every day I keep falling, can't resist the falling for you. Every day I keep falling for you. Oh, yeah. Look at here. I'm just another man from an average town. Sweeter than honey, mama, look what I found. In this big world, so much coming at me. Wake up to you is all that matters to me. Let the world keep spinning around, oh, my soul. You're the good I've been waiting for, and I won't let go. No, 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 no. Every day yeah. Every day you got me feeling brand new. I'm so crazy. Yeah. And I can't resist. I can't resist. I'm falling for you. Falling for you. Oh yeah. I'm falling. I'm falling, falling, falling. I'm falling. I'm falling. Every day, every minute, baby, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Urban Influencer, where I have the privilege today to interview Mr. Lanate, rapper, songwriter, singer. I saw singer in there somewhere. And also producer. How are you doing today? What you sipping on?
I'm sipping on a little Ciroc and orange juice.
Okay, Ciroc and oranges. You decided to bring your drink to the interview.
That's a little something to make me feel good. How
you
feeling?
Okay. All right. So you are, this is the Urban Influencer. We want to hang out with you. I was checking out some of your songs.
Okay.
Especially, let me see. Go back to my phone. One thing I was listening to No Reason.
Okay.
And I want to ask you, how much does a pair of Jimmy Choo shoes cost?
Well, they cost a good amount. And Neiman's Market is probably like $1,000 and up.
Okay, so I was gonna ask because I don't own a pair of Jimmy Choo, and I guess I ain't acting right. I guess that's probably it. I ain't acting right to get a pair of Jimmy Choo.
It could be, but we'll get you on a pair.
Okay, all right. So let's tell everybody you're from Tallahassee, Florida. What made you get into rapping and music?
So I basically grew up around it. RIP Total Chaos, but he was a big rapper from around here, like back in the days. And I go to the studio and I watch him create. And I just sit around the studio and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing in here, but I feel like I want to do it, right? So, I watch him record and I convinced my mom and my brother for Christmas. I was like, man, we need to get a recording studio. So, we basically, I took everything off my Christmas list that I wanted and I got a computer and I got a recording program. And from there, the rest was history. I just taught myself everything and I fell in love with it.
Okay, so you started this. So how long would you say that you've been in this business?
So seriously working, I've been doing it for a long time, but I say seriously, I say about 10 years, like seriously doing it. But I started around maybe, I say a good 12 years. I've been doing it about a good 12 years.
So let me ask this question, because I was looking at one of your videos and I was like, it's a whole lot of booty in that video. So is rap synonymous with the twerking?
It really all depends. Like I'm the kind of artist where I create based off the vibe. So with that particular song, I just felt like that's the mood that I was in. That's what I wanted to hear. That's what I wanted to see. And that's what I created. So it really depends on the vibe that you're going for. But I wouldn't say that every rapper have to make a booty song. But, that's the easy way to get to the ladies, easy way to get to the club, easy way to get to the radio. So I be thinking about all of that. What's gonna get me there quicker versus trying to be J. Cole, do lyrical rap. That's a quick way to get people here, quick way to get in the club. So
okay. And that song, I gotta put my glasses on. I'm older, so I gotta put my glasses on, because I listened to that one a couple times, but I was like, you wanna know what, the beat is cool. Even if I wasn't listening to, watching it, the beat is cool. It's catchy. It's something that, I can put in a podcast. Be like, okay, that's something that flows. So I could do that. So it was because you have another new song that actually we're not even talking about, but we're going to talk about that project. Okay. And that one is Racks on My Feet.
Ooh, yeah, that's my baby right there.
Okay, so that is your latest one, besides the one that we were going to talk about, with all the booty in it.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so Racks on My Feet, it's crazy. That came about, I was in the studio, I ran across the beat first. I was actually on YouTube. Shout out to Cook Up. There's a producer named Cook Up. But I literally played the beat and I went to hum. And I was like, And I was like, that sounds catchy. So I went in there. I laid the hook first. And I was like, man, this might be something. So,
Okay.
you know, I just finished, and I didn't write it. I didn't do that. I just literally went in the booth. I pieced every line together, and the lines that didn't make sense, I just kind of punched it back in, and I ended up with that record. And I kid you not, like a week after I made the song, I told my video man, I was like, I got a good feeling about that. You know, we need to shoot a video for it. So we just put it together.
So keep going. You got 1.5 million views within the first week.
Yeah, on World Star Hip Hop. Shout out to World Star. Yeah. And Keep On Going was actually a re-release. I did that song about 2 years ago, actually. The first time we put it out, we didn't go as hard with the promotion on it. But this time around, we decided before we release all of the new music, my new project, that we'll go ahead and re-release that record because it was a good record. It didn't need to be slept on. So we just went ahead and pushed that out. That way, you know, if they get into it, that is like, oh, he got new music too. So, you know, so I got to shout out to Si, man. He's the mastermind behind putting all the records out. I'm creating, I send it to him, and he just, you know, put everything together.
So what do you think is the appeal?
As far as Keep On Going?
That it caught that much attention?
I say the vibe of it. The vibe, the women, is catchy. And one thing about me, if you listen to a lot of my music, I always go for catchy melodies, catchy cadences, and catchy beats. Something that's gonna instantly catch your ear. You're gonna be like, dang, I might not like everything he's doing, everything he's saying, but it's catchy.
Okay.
You know, no matter what kind of crowd, what kind of music you listen to, I'm really musically inclined. So I pay attention to a cadence, hooks, melodies. So I make sure I incorporate all of that into my music. So I feel like we Keep On Going. That was just me, because I lived in Atlanta for a little bit, and I went to the Script Club, and I lost my mind. And I went there for the first time, and I was like, man, coming from Tallahassee, Florida, it's like we don't have no Script Club. So when I went in there, I'm like, man,
how y'all don't have strip clubs in Tallahassee, Florida?
We don't. I mean, it's just a college town. We got a lot of stuff now. We have like bars. We got a lot of stuff. But as far as a Script Club where you actually got women naked on script, man, I seen that and I was like,
you lost your mind.
Yeah, I did. And the funny story is, like, the first time I went to the Script Club in Atlanta, I went in there with $100 because I didn't really know nothing about the script. I thought that was enough. So I went to the Script Club. And before you know it, it was just one female dancing on me. I spent $80 with her, just her. I was in there maybe 30 minutes. I spent $80. I had $20 left. And another female came up to me. She was like, "You so fine. I want to dance with you." In my mind, I'm like, "Oh, she feeling me." But that's their game that they play. Like, you know, they trying to get your money, so they gonna tell you anything. And I'm telling my homie, I'm like, you know, oh girl really feeling me, man. I'm gonna go and spend my last $20 with her. You know, boom, boom, boom. So she danced with me literally for 30 minutes. And the songs went out, I ran out of money, and she was still dancing. I'm like, damn, I ain't got no money to give, but like, what's gonna go down? So she got down dancing, and she picked the money up, and she was like, when I was dancing for 30 minutes, she owed me some more money. And I was like, oh, damn. So I had to get some money from my home, but it was just crazy. And I say that to say, if you're gonna go to the Script Club, make sure you got more than $100. I never went.
You don't, and it's safe to say you don't go with only $100 anymore.
No, don't do that. Never. No. I learned my lesson. But it's a nice experience. And like I said, if you're from a small place and you've never been to one, you know, it'll definitely make you creative. It'll open your mind up. And that's just what I was thinking about. I was thinking about scripters. I was thinking about women, because I know women like to feel themselves in the club. So I really came to Keep On Going specifically to women and just throwing money and just, you know, just having a good time.
Yeah. Okay. Going up in the club. Stripping.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
So who would you say your influences are?
So influences. I feel like my biggest influences are moguls, like people that's owning businesses and making money. I can't really say there's a lot of artists that influence me because I try not to listen to other artists so I don't sound like them.
Okay.
But I do look up the artists that are successful and that are, making moves in the industry. But I just feel like
so there's another young lady trying to make her debut. So who is she?
this is my daughter. Come here, baby. Daddy's doing
She's been trying to make her debut.
Right.
How you doing, sunshine? Hey, beautiful. How you doing?
Hey, you on Daddy live radio interview. I'm gonna say, hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Say, keep
So
on
what do you
going.
keep on going? What you think of your daddy's music?
You love Daddy music? Tell her.
She said, uh-huh.
She's
You
my
got a
biggest
pair of
fan.
Jimmy Choo shoes, baby. You got a pair of Jimmy Choos.
You want to be shy?
You got a Rolly. That was in one of them. You got a Rolly.
You got a
Who you
Rolly?
talking to? Who you talking
You got a Rolly?
You talking to somebody. But it is nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
See you later.
See you later.
Daddy doing the interview, okay? I'll be with you. Going there. But yeah, that's my daughter. Oh, yeah. So by the way, a lot of people don't know this. I don't really promote it, but I'm actually a full-time father. Like my daughter lives with me, so full-time. So I balance that out, recording, running the studio. Also a music teacher. A lot of people don't know. I just took on a job a week ago to teach music to 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. So
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you that was gonna be one of my questions. What is it that people don't know about you? So apparently you got a background in music.
yeah, and it's crazy because I'm self-taught. So
Okay.
I didn't go to school for music. I didn't go to like Art Institute of Atlanta or Full Sail that we have down here in Florida. I literally taught myself, and I always really had an ear for it. Like when I was 12 or 13, I would always listen to like old music, like Silk. It's a lot of good old music that just had the quiet. And I listen to those songs. I'm like, man, how did they get the songs to sound that good? I was always interested in like the quality of it. So when I finally got the program, I was kind of familiar with the stuff because I just knew what it sounded like, and I play around with it. I'm like, oh, that's how they get this, and then it was just like natural all up. So yeah.
Okay, so that means that you have a passion for teaching and spreading your knowledge to the younger generation.
Most definitely.
Okay.
I would say that, yeah. I don't mind, like a lot of people will hit me up because I do that on YouTube from time to time. I have a lot of artists that'll say, man, your quality sounds good. Where you record? And, I tell them I record myself, I mix it. So I started doing like tutorials where I'll show, what I'm doing, my techniques to basically to get your music to sound good. And I got a nice following for that too.
Okay. So what do your numbers look like now?
As far as YouTube, I'm still working on my subscribers, but I'm actually at like 7,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Okay.
I know Sai just told me we doing some big numbers on Spotify. I got added to a lot of playlists on there. We got a lot of radio spins. Like it's going up. It's gonna get big. And that, like I said, that's a re-release. When I release this new stuff, it's really gonna go to a whole different level. So
I just want my Jimmy Choos. That's all.
I got we working it when they start cutting them big checks. I'm gonna remember you. I got you. Trust me. I got a great
Missy Eater Party Doll needs a pair of Jimmy Choos.
I got you.
You know them whole love route I'm trying to tell you.
So another question I would like to ask is, we talked about your influences. We also let's talk about your female following.
Okay. So man, I got I have amazing female followers. Like I sometimes I just put my name in the YouTube search engine and I'll find like videos of females. Like I ran across a video from females. I think it was from like Virginia. They made a video with they was just basically playing my music in the background and they were just saying, "We love you, we appreciate you," and they were singing my music. So I'll say at least 80% of my fan base are females, and I got a nice female following.
Okay, cool.
I'm actually working on a EP that's strictly catered to females. Like I have like a pure R&B, like nothing upbeat. It's just straight R&B that I'm doing because I feel like I got with Keep On Going, Racks on My Feet. With singles like that, I feel like I wasn't fully catering to like women as far as singing, because I have a pretty nice voice, so I wanted to do like real R&B music for them. So that's what I'm dedicating my next EP to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the next question I would ask is, okay, so this next project, let's talk about your project and what you got going on.
Okay. So the next project that I'm working on is called it's called SIPO, which is an acronym for Sang Your Pennies Off. And it's basically every song I'm just basically I'm seducing the women, I'm serenading them with every song. It's gonna be about 4 or 5 songs because
okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be about 4 or 5. So it's gonna be an EP, real short and sweet. And it's like I said, it's strictly for the females. Fellas will be able to play it too, but everything that I'm saying, I just want to uplift the women. I just want them to be like, man, this guy here is just, I want to get that feeling out there. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
All right. So what is your creative process? I know you said that you usually start with the beat. It's the beat that kind of drives you.
Always the beat. And actually I'm in my studio, I'm in my home recording studio right now, but I put the beat on first. And I'm so big on the beat to the point where if I'm playing a beat and it doesn't move me, I won't do the song. Like I have to be in tune with everything. And if you listen to my music, it sounds like I mean everything that I'm saying. And that's because I literally be feeling like the beat, I be feeling the mood. And if it all doesn't come together and I feel like it's forced, I gotta be like, oh man, what should I say next? And I gotta sit there 5 minutes, I just scratch the whole song. Because I feel like if it's meant to be and it's a hit, it'll be organic. It shouldn't be forced. So that's how I usually work. I play if words or even the melody, if the melody come, even if the words don't come, if the melody come and it just sounds like a hit, I go all the way in with it.
Okay. So the next the project's coming up. When is it due to be released?
So after Keep On Going, we're gonna release a single. We're gonna release another single. We're gonna test another single out. I have one called Low Key Baby. I don't know if that's what we're gonna do next, but basically that song is about having a side chick that treats you better than your main chick. And as bad as that may sound, I just feel like a lot of men could resonate with that. Because you could be in a relationship sometimes, you could be unappreciated, and you might meet somebody, that make you feel more of a man or more of a woman. And I'm basically just kind of maximizing off that topic and just saying, my side piece treat me better than my main. It's like a balance. Like if you hear
that makes me want to get into relationship questions for you. So, if the side piece, do you believe in monogamy?
I do. I feel like 80%, if you're an artist, I feel like 80% of an artist should have like a polygamous relationship.
Okay.
I believe in polygamy because I feel like I said that because I met a female that may have woman qualities, like she could cook real good, you know, she clean, she's nurturing, but she may lack something that this female got a lot of. She might be, more fun, more outgoing, adventurous, be ready to go. And this female might be a little more boring, but if you have a little bit of, and that's why I feel like some men, cheat because they getting something that they missing. So if I feel like if you're in a poly, you got that balance, and if you can get both of them to understand, it's all good. Hey,
you thinking about this now?
That sounds crazy, but you'll be surprised how many men will be like, hell yeah, man, that's exactly what. But see, if you come to a female and be like, babe, I love you, but what you think about having another girlfriend? You're gonna get your cheek slapped off your face.
Yes.
But you know what I'm saying? A lot of men think that I'm a man that'll tell her, well, I done told a female that on the phone, I'm like, I can't date you, but if you down for a poly, then we could be happy together.
Wow. Wow. And what's that in that drink you got again? Orange juice and Ciroc.
Yeah, I got that orange juice and Ciroc. But believe it or not, I had two females that said, one said, if I could choose the girl, I'm down. The other one said, I like girls, so that's cool.
The music game. And I was going to ask you, do you think that a lot of times in the music, we are saying what's really going on in our lives?
Right, because you have a lot of people like myself that don't express themselves to a lot of people. Like, I don't like to open up and just call people like, hey, man, my girl tripping, boom, boom, boom. I'll go to the studio and I'll just put it in a song. And as men, we keep a lot of stuff in. So that's why you might get a man that'll play a song like, damn, he killing that, because it's speaking for him. Okay. So I take advantage of that and I'll make a song about it and I'll put it out. And that's how I resonate with people too. I like to touch on topics that, that's not being spoke on. So yeah, I feel like, music is a good outlet for expressing your feelings for sure.
It is. Yeah. Usually musically inclined people are very creative. Right.
Yeah. And what other way to be creative than to be able to resonate with people? That's simple. Like, music is simple to me. I don't know. I just know once they let me, I know once they let me in the door, it's gonna be over.
So where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, believe it or not, though, I want to be like a big artist as far as making the money, but I don't want to be still in the big limelight in 5 years. I'd rather be owning a record label and, putting the artists out and writing and putting them out, because I don't really care too much about attention. I just like money. I like living comfortable. I like being wealthy. And I like family. I like to be able to do what I want to do. I don't want to be stuck with the, having to do tours and I gotta, do so much. But I do know, that's required to get your name out there and to sell your product. So I'm willing to put that work in. But in 5 years, if I could secure a few M's, maybe like 20 million, I'd be cool with sitting back and then writing, producing and all of that and still making money.
Okay. All right. So what's on your playlist? 3 songs in your playlist.
Oh, one right now, and I'm very late to this song, but Heartbreak Anniversary by Keon. That's one. And this might be too much information, but I got a sex playlist, right? That I downloaded from Apple Music, but it's a song by Tiana Taylor called 69. And it's amazing. I never knew she could sing like that, but
that whole project of hers is amazing. If you go back and check it out. Yeah,
it's crazy. And when I heard it, I had stopped doing what I was like, damn, who that singing like that? I put my iPhone out and I just made sure I saved it, and So that's number 2. Number 3. Number 3, I gotta go with my own song.
Okay, all right. Get high on your own supply. That's okay.
Most definitely, yeah.
All right. Well, we're coming to the end of the interview. Of course, tell people why they need to download, follow you, and all the other good stuff.
Y'all need to download my music, follow me, because if not, you'll be missing out on a new wave, a true artist. And I mean, I'm what's popping. I'm gonna stay popping, and you know what I'm saying? Like, it's finna be big. That's all I can say.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. And please give everybody your social media information so they can follow you.
Okay. So my IG is, I'm bad with IG. Follow me on Instagram, Lanate the Goat. So that's LANATE THE GOAT. Follow me on Twitter at Lanate, LANATE. Are you trying to do that in here? Okay, gotcha. And on Facebook is Lanate Music, LANATE Music.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Please make sure you go check out his music. Check out Keep It Going. Definitely make sure, what is it, Racks on My Feet?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Racks on My Feet. And the other one that talks about them Jimmy Choo shoes.
Oh yeah.
Make sure you go get No Reason. No reason.
Yeah.
Check out all of that. I'm
Shout
Missy
out to Money Grip. Shout out to Money Grip Flyer. That's my guy from Atlanta. That's on the song with me on No Reason.
All right, shout out to the A. Shout out to the A. All right, it's your girl, Missy E, the Party Doll. I want to thank you guys for checking us out right here on the Urban Influencer Radio. Please make sure you follow me at Missy E Party Doll on Twitter, Missy Party Doll on Instagram, Missy E Johnson on Facebook, and make sure you go and click like and subscribe to the Urban Influencer Radio on all of the social media platforms. I'm Missy E the Party Doll. Y'all have an amazing day, and mwah, take care.
Hey, tinted the coupe, I don't see no shade. I'm in my bag, Frito-Lay. I'm in my bag. Without the pen, won't have no game. That's why I stay in my own lane. You never hear me complain. No. I did it all by my lonely. You pussy niggas be so brave. You're so pussy. Tinted the coupe, I don't see no shade. No shade.
I don't see no shade. See, we can shoot or we can throw fade. Just me and you give me the okay. I'm dodging nigga with the ole. Cause I remember how she like it. I do. Test me, that's if you don't believe me. I thought you knew. You know that well, you do not try me. You know not to. Do she have any plan this evening? What you wanna do? Get in the car and get some well. You miss a nigga, I can tell. Just me and you and no one else. Oh my God, what do we have here?
Tinted the coupe, I don't see no shade. I'm in my bag, Frito-Lay. I'm in my bag. Without the pen, won't have no game. That's why I stay in my own lane. You never hear me complain. No. I did it all by my lonely. You pussy niggas be so brave. You're so pussy. Tinted the coupe, I don't see no shade. No shade. Check, I got 5% on my windows for 5% of these niggas just trying to make it an issue, Got a lot of shit on my mental. Try, but I won't dish you. Why? Cause I got pistols, Out my feelings in my bag now. Stand up, nigga, I will never back down. Go outside, I'm like, no way. Tinted the coupe, I don't see no shade. I'm in my bag, Frito-Lay. I'm in my bag. Without the pen, won't have no game. That's why I stay in my own lane. You never hear me complain. No. I did it all by my lonely. You pussy niggas be so brave. You're so pussy. see no shade, no shade, no shade.
See, I don't got no tents, my shit a glass house. She know when I pull up, I'm pulling cash out. Yeah. She know when I pull up, she better hop in. She say as far as rap, I'm in her top 10. Niggas dehydrated, yeah, real thirsty. As far as my city goes, I run shit, Jacket John Kersey. I'm taking these motherfuckers back to church like Lord have mercy. The shit I say when I rap, I make a motherfucker wanna hurt me. Yeah. Fin, I'm skirting. Got your girlfriend squirting. Yeah. Keep a Glock for the niggas who want beef, we can make jerky. Move around like a snake, yeah. Dick tough like a steak, yeah. I'm worth more than your estate, yeah. You niggas good, I'm great, yeah.
No shade. I'm in my bag, Frito-Lay. I'm in my bag. Without the pen, won't have no game. That's why I stay in my own lane. You never hear me complain. No. I did it all by my lonely. You pussy niggas be so brave. You're so pussy. In the coupe, I don't see no shade. No shade, no shade.
I woke up, got a new day. Feel good cause I know I'm going your way. Straight up, singing your praise. Got real joy even on a Monday. I broke up with my old ways, and I want all the world to know that I'm thankful, yes I am. You've been so good that I'll say it again. Oh, I'm thankful, yes I am. You've been so good that I'll say it again. I'm thankful, yes I'm thankful. I gotta say I'm thankful. You've been so good that I'll say it again. I'm thankful, yes I'm thankful. You've been so good that I'll say it again. I found out it's better your way. You love me even on my down days. I won't stop singing your praise, and I want all the world to know that this is the day that the Lord has made. Sing it again, it's an old refrain. This is the day that the Lord has made. I'm changed and I tell you, I'm thankful, yes I am. You've been so good that I'll say it again. Oh, I'm thankful, yes I am. You've been so good that I'll say it again. I'm thankful, yes I'm thankful. Yeah, I gotta say I'm thankful. You've been so good that I'll say it again. I'm thankful, yes I'm thankful. You've been so good that I'll say it again. When you're thankful, everything just seems a little brighter. Deeper than the dopamine, my heart is catching fire. Lifting up inside, I feel a little lighter. Sing it with the choir. He will not be shaken. Strong he'll stand. And I'm worried, I am praying. Yes, I am. Can we lift our voice and say it? Yes, we can. You've been so good that I'll say it again. I'm thankful. Yes, I'm thankful. I gotta say I'm thankful.
I've been on my grind laying low. I can't even hide it no more, I'm getting dough. Niggas, they don't play with me cause they already know. If you try and get this money, then I got it for the low. Sticking to the plan, get it any way you can. I done really drop bands in each of my mama hands. One day they understand, really turned into the man. Trying to count it all up like grains in the sand.
Bitch, I got bands, I'm the man, that's who I am. You know what it is, got 100 grand in and the plan is in my hands. You know what it is. Yeah, can't say to mine, yeah, more that. All them other broke niggas need to fall back. But I'm the man with the plan, that's who I am. You know what it is.
Sticking to the plan, nigga. Stay true, they ain't gotta understand, nigga. Go for broke, get it any way you can, nigga. We done ran it up 100 bands, sticking to the plan. King state of mind, so I'm always giving back. Always showing love, so I always get it back. Yeah, good in any hood, real niggas give me that. It's a different Pro Tools when I'm riding with the Mac. Yeah, riding with the team and we move like a pack. I don't listen to the haters cause you know they like the cap. Yeah, lost some real ones, wishing we could bring them back. I be too busy to rap when I'm turning up the trap. Yeah, smarter than the rest, separated from the pack. They be calling me the real life James St. Pat. Yeah, move like a ghost, calculated attack. No face, no case, ain't no telling where he at.
Bitch, I got bands, I'm the man, that's who I am. You know what it is. Got 100 grand and the plan is in my hands. You know what it is. I can't say to mine, yeah, more that. All them other broke niggas need to fall back. But I'm the man with the plan, that's who I am. You know what it is.
Sticking to the plan, nigga. Stay true, they ain't gotta understand, nigga. Go for broke, get it any way you can, nigga. We done ran it up 100 bands, sticking to the plan, nigga. Stay true, they ain't gotta understand, nigga. Go for broke, get it any way you can, nigga. We done ran it up 100 bands, sticking to the plan.
Bitch, I got bands, I'm the man, that's who I am. You know what it is. Got 100 grand and the plan is in my hands. You know what it is. I can't say to mine, yeah, more that. All them other broke niggas need to fall back.